All right, how we doing today? I'm going to do a little video here today of a variation on Phil Raleigh's balanced leech. I've come up with what I think maybe be a little easy, a different way to mount the bead to the hook using some different materials than the pins, and it'll help keep the slenderness of the body down. And I'm going to use a little different material for the body and the dubbing. I'm going to actually use a dubbing on it. So what I've got first of all, I'm going to start out with is some Amnesia 30-pound clear monofilament. And I'm going to show you, you can see this here. I'm going to take a pair of tweezers. I'm going to mount it in there. And then I'm going to take our bead, which I've got a lucent tungsten blood red bead. And as you can see, I got the large hole facing up. So now what I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to see if I can do this where you guys can see this. I'm going to take a lighter and we're going to burn the mono. And what you're going to see is it's basically going to fill the hole. Okay. Now I'm going to take the bead out, and then I'm going to take a pair of pliers here, and I'm going to flatten right up to about 1/8. Okay. I've flattened right up to about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little closer to the bead. Okay, so now we're going to take this and I'm going to mount this to the hook shank. I'm going to take a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut it at an angle. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bind this down, and I'm going to take the thread, run it up onto the okay, then now I'm going to take and turn this up like that. I'm going to take a little bit of the UV resin. I'm going to let it, oh boy, where's it? I'm going to try to get it to flow down in the bead a little bit that didn't get filled up with the, and it'll flow down in there a little ways. Okay, that should do it. Grab my torch and let's set it. And you can kind of see on the back side there that some of the resin oozed out. That's kind of what you want. Okay. So now that we got that, so I'm going to take the thread here and I'm going to run it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of super glue. And I'm going to coat the body. I'm going to take my thread, I'm going to run it down here just to the point. Now the dubbing on this fly is a Simi seal put out by Rivers Wild. You can use any Simi seal. This is John Romer's Arizona. It's called Blood. The bead is a blood red lucent tungsten. So I'm going to reach into the bag here and I'm going to pull it out. And what I'm going to try to do is get and orient the fibers clean out any of the... What I wanted to do is I want to try to pull it out to where it tapers. And I'm going to run this fairly long. As you can see, I got a little hanging up front. Pull out some of the excess, and then I'm going to fold this over. And this is going to help build a little bulk. Okay, and that's going to help build a little bulk. And then I'm going to grab some red crystal flash. This is kind of a translucent red I get from Deer Creek Flies out of the UK. And I'm going to grab 2 strands. So I'm going to take and mount this on my side to me, half of it, and I'm going to take it, get it out from underneath. And then I forgot to talk about the hook I'm using. This is a size 12 Umpqua C400BL. It's a 60-degree jig hook. Okay, and then I'm going to come in and clip the crystal flash a little bit longer than the tail of semi-sealed dubbing. Now I'm going to prep. I'm going to got some dubbing ready. So now we're going to split the thread. So we're going to get our thread split. I'm using a 6/0 MFC red thread. So I like 6/0 on this one because of the thread splitting. So I'm going to take and I'm going to start inserting the dubbing into the split thread. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to keep it light in the back end, that back here closest to the hook. And the farther I get away, I'm going to start getting a little more dubbing in here. I want a little more dubbing out to the outside. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so now I'm going to take and spin my bobbin. I'm going to spin that up. Okay, and I'm going to kind of try to pull the dubbing to the side, one side. I'm going to start wrapping this forward. Kind of pull it back after each wrap. But what I want to start doing here is I want to start building some bulk up at the front of the fly. Because if you've ever seen a leech, they've got at the head, they're pretty thick. So I'm right up to the bead now, and I'm going to jump around it. Do a couple, get everything wrapped in there right at the bead. Okay, so now I'm going to just drop my thread for a second, let it unspin. Because if you try to whip finish this, it's really corded. It has a tendency to cause some problems. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some thread in here, throw a quick whip finish, Okay, get that nice and tight. Clip our thread. Now we're going to get our a dubbing brush here. We're going to start brushing this out. So what I want to try to do is get this all brushed out really. Okay, I got that nice and brushed out. And you can kind of see the shape of the leech taking its place. So now what I want to do is take a little more of the resin. And this time I'm going to use the thick. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to drop it basically on the bead here. And I want it to flow. It'll want to flow back into that Okay, grab the torch again. And I just want to add just a little bit more. So it'll flow right down in that empty spot there. Okay, so now that's pretty much got the fly ready to go. But one other thing I like to do is before it goes into the box is I'll take the fly into my bathroom and I'll run it through hot water. And what ends up happening is once you do that, it really helps solidify the shape as more of a leech. But what also, when you get these wet, here's one that's been run through the water, it helps get all the fibers oriented in one direction. There you have it. This is a Simi seal balanced leech. Like I said, taking some of the stuff from Phil Raleigh here and creating this little pattern. Hope you enjoy.